Hello everyone, welcome back. Episode 8 of Dutton Ranch takes a much slower approach compared to the previous episodes, but that doesn't mean nothing important happens. Instead of focusing on action, this chapter is all about emotional consequences, broken relationships, and the difficult choices every major character is forced to make. By the end of the episode, several storylines completely change direction, while one final reveal leaves us with even more questions heading into the season finale. So in this video, we're breaking down everything that happened, explaining the biggest character moments, and discussing what these events could mean for episode 9. As always, this video contains spoilers. Let's begin with Carter, because his storyline is easily one of the most emotional parts of the episode. Ever since leaving Montana, Carter has struggled to find his place in the world. Although Rip and Beth have treated him like family, he still doesn't truly feel like he belongs. Deep inside, he continues to believe that he's living someone else's life instead of creating his own. That feeling becomes even stronger after the anniversary celebration. Following everything that's happened recently, including Dwight's death, his growing distance from Mariano, and the pressure of life on the ranch, Carter finally reaches an emotional breaking point. Throughout the episode, we see him making one mistake after another while working with Rip. Normally Rip expects hard work and discipline, but this time he shows unusual patience. Instead of getting angry, Rip gives Carter multiple chances to fix his mistakes. However, Carter isn't really distracted because of ranch work. His mind is somewhere else entirely. He's carrying guilt, confusion, and the feeling that he no longer knows who he really is. Eventually he even falls from his horse, ending his workday early. While this moment may seem small on the surface, it actually symbolizes something much bigger. Carter isn't simply failing at ranch work. He's losing confidence in himself. Later, he visits the exact location where Dwight lost his life. It's clear that Dwight's death continues to haunt him. That tragedy changed the way Carter looks at the world. Instead of thinking about building a future, he's become stuck looking back at everything he's lost. When Sheriff Wade finds him there, Carter unexpectedly asks if there's any chance he could join law enforcement instead. This isn't because policing has always been his dream. It's because he's desperately searching for somewhere, anywhere, that feels like home. He's trying to discover an identity outside of Beth and Rip. Sheriff Wade quickly realizes what's really happening. Rather than encouraging him, he simply tells Carter to go home because there's nothing waiting for him out there. Although the conversation is short, it carries a powerful message. Sometimes people don't need a new career. They need a new purpose. And Carter hasn't found his yet. Meanwhile, Beth notices the emotional distance growing between them. Ever since Carter entered her life, she slowly learned how to become someone capable of caring for another person. For Beth, protecting Carter isn't just another responsibility. It's become part of who she is. That's why it hurts so much when Carter tells her he needs space. From Carter's perspective, he's trying to become independent. From Beth's perspective, it feels like she's losing another member of her family. The scene works so well because neither character is completely wrong. They're simply looking at the same situation through different experiences. Carter believes freedom will solve his problems. Beth believes staying together will. And somewhere between those two ideas lies the answer. One moment that stands out is Carter's confrontation with Rip. Despite everything Rip has done for him over the years, Carter allows his emotions to take control. He's frustrated, he's confused, and for a brief moment, he even challenges the one person who's always tried to guide him. Rip doesn't respond with anger. Instead, he understands that Carter isn't really fighting him. He's fighting the pain that's been building inside for months. Sometimes growing up means pushing away the people trying hardest to help you. And that's exactly where Carter finds himself now. Whether he'll realize his mistake before it's too late remains one of the biggest questions heading into the finale. At the same time, another character is dealing with his own sense of betrayal. Hain enters this episode believing he still has a future connected to the ranch. That hope disappears after Buler officially names Roble as her successor. From Hain's perspective, everything he sacrificed suddenly means nothing. Even worse, Buler explains that he simply doesn't have the qualities she believes are necessary to lead. She sees Beth as the stronger business mind. She trusts Rip's ranching experience. But she doesn't believe Hain possesses either of those strengths. Those words cut deeper than any argument ever could. Because this isn't just about losing an inheritance. It's about hearing someone you've trusted your entire life tell you that you aren't enough. And for Hain, that changes everything. From that moment onward, Hain stops thinking like a loyal family member. He starts thinking like someone who's been completely abandoned. For years, he believed his future was tied to the Jackson family and everything they had built together. Now, that future has disappeared almost overnight. Instead of accepting Buler's decision, Hain chooses a much more dangerous path. He decides to fight back. One of the biggest moments in the episode comes when Hain visits Sheriff Wade. He's carrying what appears to be the murder weapon connected to Wes' death. His intention seems obvious. If the evidence is accepted, it could completely destroy Robal's future and expose everything that's been hidden beneath the surface. But things don't go as Hain expected. Sheriff Wade refuses to get involved. Whether it's because of loyalty, fear, or political pressure, Wade makes it clear that this isn't a battle he's willing to fight. For Hain, this is another devastating blow. He realizes that even the law may not be on his side. The system he hoped would deliver justice feels just as complicated as the family he's trying to escape. After leaving the sheriff's office, Hain completely loses control of his emotions. Driving alone through the night, he screams in frustration. It's one of the rawest scenes in the episode. He's angry, he's heartbroken, and more importantly, he feels completely alone. Everything he believed in has fallen apart. His family no longer trusts him. The ranch no longer has a place for him. And every door he tries to open keeps closing. Then comes the episode's biggest surprise. Hain picks up his phone and calls someone we never expected to hear from again. His father, Mariano. For most of the season, many viewers assumed Mariano was either dead or permanently gone. This single phone call changes everything. Suddenly, an entirely new mystery opens up. Where has Mariano been? Why has he stayed hidden for so long? And how much does he already know about what's happening at the ranch? The episode doesn't answer any of those questions. Instead, it allows the audience to imagine several possibilities. Maybe Mariano has been protecting himself from enemies. Maybe he's secretly connected to the ranch's larger operations. Or perhaps he's been waiting for exactly this moment before stepping back into the story. Whatever the truth is, his return immediately raises the stakes for the finale. Another important storyline involves the growing mystery surrounding the cross-border cattle operation. Earlier episodes hinted that something illegal might be happening behind the scenes. Episode 8 pushes those suspicions even further. Several conversations suggest that livestock has been moved through hidden channels, creating serious legal and financial risks for everyone involved. Although the full picture hasn't been revealed yet, it's becoming clear that this operation could destroy everything the ranch has built over generations. If these secrets become public, the consequences won't affect just one person. They could impact the entire Jackson legacy. This is where Hain becomes especially dangerous. Unlike before, he no longer feels obligated to protect the family. If exposing the truth helps him get revenge, there's very little stopping him now. That's what makes his character so unpredictable heading into episode 9. He knows enough secrets to damage almost everyone around him. And after everything that's happened, he may decide he has nothing left to lose. Meanwhile, Rip finds himself caught in an increasingly complicated situation. Throughout the series, Rip has always tried to stay loyal to the ranch while following his own personal code. But if these hidden operations continue expanding, that loyalty will be tested. Rip has never been comfortable crossing certain moral lines. If the people in charge continue making reckless decisions, he may eventually be forced to choose between protecting the ranch or protecting his own conscience. That internal conflict could become one of the biggest storylines in the season finale. The episode also reminds viewers that old secrets rarely stay buried forever. Every decision made in earlier episodes is slowly coming back with consequences. Whether it's family betrayal, hidden crimes, or broken promises, everything appears to be moving toward one final confrontation. Instead of creating new conflicts, episode 8 spends most of its runtime placing every major character exactly where they need to be before the finale begins. By the end of the episode, almost everyone is standing at a crossroads. Some will choose loyalty, others will choose revenge, and a few may simply try to survive whatever comes next. One thing is certain, the calm atmosphere we've seen throughout this episode won't last much longer. Now let's talk about Buler, because her storyline may quietly become the most important one heading into the finale. After suffering the heart attack, it's obvious that her priorities have started to change. For decades, every decision she made revolved around protecting the ranch and securing its future. But now, for the first time, she looks exhausted. Not physically alone, but emotionally. She no longer seems interested in carrying the weight of every problem herself. Instead, she wants peace. She wants time with the people who matter most. And after everything she's sacrificed, that's completely understandable. Her scenes with Everett reinforce that idea. Everett realizes just how close he came to losing her forever. that experience changes his outlook completely. Rather than spending whatever time they have left worrying about business, he wants them to enjoy life together. Their conversations feel quieter than usual, but they're filled with emotion. Sometimes the biggest character development doesn't come through action. It comes through acceptance. And that's exactly what these scenes represent. Of course, Buler's decision to hand control of the ranch to Roble remains incredibly controversial. Some characters support it, others clearly don't. Whether Roble is truly ready to lead remains one of the biggest unanswered questions. Leadership isn't only about making difficult decisions. It's about earning trust. And at this point, trust is something Roble hasn't fully gained. If he makes even one major mistake, the entire ranch could begin falling apart from the inside. Ironically, the very choice Buler believed would protect the ranch may become the decision that threatens its future. Another interesting detail is that several dangerous secrets are still unresolved. There are people who know more than they're saying, evidence that hasn't been fully explained, and relationships that seem ready to break under pressure. The finale now has multiple storylines that could collide at any moment. That's what makes the ending of episode 8 so effective. Instead of delivering a massive cliffhanger through action, it builds suspense through uncertainty. Every character enters episode 9 carrying emotional baggage, and eventually, someone is going to crack. Overall, I thought episode 8 was a slower chapter compared to the previous 2 episodes. If you were expecting non-stop action, this episode probably felt quieter. However, I don't think that necessarily makes it weaker. Its biggest strength is the way it develops the characters before the finale. Carter's struggle with identity, Hain's growing resentment, Beth's fear of losing another family member, and Buler's changing priorities. All of these emotional storylines now feel ready to collide. Personally, I thought Carter delivered one of his strongest performances of the season. His pain felt believable, and it was easy to understand why he felt so lost, even if some of his decisions were frustrating to watch. Beth was another standout. Her softer side continues to grow, making her one of the most interesting characters in the series. Watching her desperately try to hold her family together added a lot of emotional weight to the episode. As for Hain, his final phone call completely changed my expectations for the finale. The return of Mariano opens the door to countless possibilities. Depending on what role he plays, the balance of power could shift very quickly. With only one episode remaining this season, there are still plenty of questions waiting to be answered. Can the ranch survive the growing internal conflict? Will Hain seek revenge against the people who betrayed him? What role will Mariano play after his shocking return? And perhaps the biggest question of all, who will still be standing when the dust finally settles? If the finale delivers on everything episode 8 has been building toward, we could be looking at one of the strongest endings the series has produced so far. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you thought about episode 8, what your predictions are for the finale, and whether you think the ranch's future can still be saved. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.